What's up, everybody? It's Big Ralph TV, and I'm back with another music review. I just wanted to get this one out. I'm a little late on this one for Solange's A Seat at the Table album. I've been listening to this album since it came out. I stumbled across it. I saw it on Google Play Music, and I kind of ignored it at first. I was like, I'll get back to it and I'll come check it out maybe later or whatever. But then I saw people like Joe Budden and Rhapsody, and then a bunch of other friends of mine on Facebook and other social media platforms discussing how great this album was. So I said, man, let me go ahead and give it a listen, check this album out, and I'm glad I did, man. I'm glad I did. This album is amazing from beginning to end, man. Like it's just a great album. And a lot of the time, I don't like to have or listen to albums that have a bunch of interludes or skits or things like that in it. But this album's interludes, and each time you hear Miss Tina Knowles or Master P or somebody talking in one of the interludes leading up to the song, for one, it has something to do with the song that you're about to hear. Like it sets the tone for that song that you're about to hear. And also it's a good message to hear. A lot of the time on all those skits, it's a message that you needed to hear. Not only because it goes with what the song was talking about, but because it's just a very positive message about being black or something that we go through that relates to what she's discussing on the album. Um, this is actually the first time that I can remember. I might have done it before that I really listened to a Solange album front to back. When I was younger, me and Solange are about the same age. I think I'm a year older than her. I'm 31. She's 30. Back in the day, I kind of had a thing for Solange. Not ashamed to say that. Not ashamed to say that here on my channel. But I kind of did just because, we're about the same age. Oh, you know how you think when you're younger, you're a teenager. I could probably, if I meet her, man, I might say something to her. I'll be able to, I was crazy back in the early 2000s or whatnot. But anyway, so I listened to this album, man, and it's great. And there's just a few things that I wanted to touch on as far as this album is concerned, because I know there's a bunch of reviews out there. I know a bunch of people have already said how they feel about this album, but there's two main things that I want to discuss about this album that made it great for me. And the first thing that I wanted to talk about was that a lot of times when a woman R&B singer such as Beyonce or Fantasia or Rihanna or whoever, whenever they drop an album, men will usually listen to it and they might say it's good. They might say, yeah, that album was jamming, right? But they don't usually discuss it, at least me and my friends. We don't usually discuss albums by women with such passion. Like, man, this was good. Like when Beyonce's album came out, it was great. Like it's a great album, and it's a great album. And you might talk about, oh, she getting on Jay-Z, she might do this song, this, boom, boom, boom. But usually after that initial discussion, that's it. You really don't usually hear a lot of men going back and forth about an album made by a woman, right? At least in my circle of friends, I don't usually have that happen. But with this album, I've been talking off and on with a bunch of guy friends that I have, and how passionate they are about the album says to me how great it is, because I know guys, men, grown men like that are into this album and haven't stopped playing it since it came out. It's just been on constant repeat since the album was released. So I think that's awesome, man. I think that's great in itself, because that shows that this album wasn't just an R&B album created for women discussing how she feels about her relationship issues with men, or how she feels emotionally and how women need to relate to it. This album by Solange is relatable to everybody, men and women. I think anybody who picks this project up and listens to it will be able to enjoy it, regardless of what sex you are. it's just an amazing album. And like the song on her album called, For Us By Us, the FUBU joint, is definitely for us and by us. It definitely encompasses that theory right there, man. Because this album is 100% be proud of your blackness, and this is how what we're going through, and this is our struggle, and this is what we need to do. This is how I overcome these things in my life. It's great. It's a great album. There's really not anything as I listen to it that I can say, man, that sucked. Like this was no good. Like there's nothing on that. I don't skip at all. Like I just go. Sometimes I formed my favorite tracks already. Weary is one of my favorites. Where Do We Go? That's one of my higher favorites. That's my shit. And Don't Touch My Hair is my joint. That's my favorite song on the whole album is Don't Touch My Hair. But Cranes in the Sky, great. Mad, great. And on Mad, Lil Wayne's verse is actually really good. And I'm really critical of Lil Wayne a lot of the time because he's kind of, to me, falling off a little bit. But he delivers a strong verse on there, man, and it goes into what she's talking about, and he talks about his struggles and things that he's gone through and why he's mad a lot of the time. So shout out to Wayne on that. That was a great verse, man. I liked it, man. I liked it a lot. Her singing on Mad, her voice sounds great to me, and I mean that's a constant thing throughout the entire album to me with Solange is that her voice sounds incredible. Like I didn't realize Solange could really sing like that. Maybe I just haven't been paying attention, but Solange can really sing, man, and her voice is great throughout the entire project. The final thing to me that makes this album great is that I'm a parent. I'm a father of 3 daughters, right? They are 3 biracial, black and white daughters, and I try my hardest a lot of the time to preach to them the importance of being proud of who they are. Like you're black. America is not gonna see you as being black and white. They're gonna look at you and they're gonna say, this girl's black. Just like with our president. Nobody calls him our mixed president. They call President Obama the first black president. Black president. When you speak of President Obama, you speak black president. So I'm always trying to teach to my daughters the importance of being proud of who they are, especially that black side of them. You know what I mean? Like my oldest daughter has very thicker hair, just like any other black woman. And sometimes she wears her afro out and she says people make fun of her sometimes. I say embrace that afro. Love your hair. Love your thick fro. It's a lot of women that wish to have hair like yours and they can't have it. You know what I'm saying? Like we comb it out and pick it out, make the fro look nice. We say love your hair. Embrace it. When she gets it braided, I'm like, love those braids. Love everything about yourself. Love your skin complexion. Don't wish that you could look a different way. Love the skin that you're in. Love yourself. Love everything about your black self. Not that they shouldn't be embracing the other side as well, but I'll put emphasis on the fact that these are 3 young black women and they are going to grow up to be young black women in the eyes of the world. They're not going to look at the fact that they have a white mother. These are 3 young black women. And I think this album, as it relates to Solange, encompasses that. It says, be proud of who you are. Like this is things that we might struggle with. These are things that we need to overcome. These are things that I'm proud about. This is for us. This is by us. This is this. This is that. Love yourself. And, this is how I deal with things. This is what Solange deals with. And I play it for them in the car when I'm riding around somewhere. I usually turn it on every time because it gets me away from the typical rap and hip hop that I play. And I know I'm not, they're young and they shouldn't be listening to a lot of stuff, but I don't censor my music. My parents didn't do it for me, so I'm not going to censor the music that I play around my kids. They know not to repeat the bad things that they hear in those songs. They sing along with the stuff that they're supposed to sing along with, but they know do not repeat the bad language and things that are in these songs. So I don't censor anything, but this album by Solange, it doesn't give me anything to censor. It's just a great album, and they sing along with it. And that's one thing that I'm really proud of with this album is that it's an album that has a positive message, and it has things that they can sing along with. And I don't, they're young, they're 8, 6, and 3, but I don't know if they're really understanding what's being said in this album, but I hope they are. And they sing along with it in the car. I've caught them singing along to "Don't Touch My Hair" and "Weary" and things of that nature. So I just really like that aspect, that this is something positive that I can play for them and that they enjoy. I've tried to play, like the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill and things like that, and they didn't really care for that album and get into it, but they are enjoying this. So thank you, Solange, for that. But at the end of the day, I really feel like this album is going to be one that should be considered when the discussion comes at the end of the year for the Grammys. This should be considered for album of the year to me, overall album of the year, and also for the R&B album of the year. I think it's as good as it is. I think it should be considered for overall album of the year, because I really don't think that there's that many albums that have been released that are better than this album. I think her hardest competition to get over is going to be Beyonce's Lemonade album. And I like Lemonade. I thought it was a good album, and all the power that it came with, but I give the slight edge to Solange. Maybe that's the younger sibling bias in me. I'm the younger sibling too. It's me and my big brother, and it's pretty much similar age difference. But I got to give the edge to little sister here, man. So if it comes down to the two of them, I hope that Solange gets it. Beyonce's got enough awards, man. Let the little sister get one, man. Beyonce's done enough. But anyway, I give this album a seat at the table for only the second time that I've done music reviews. This album by Solange, a seat at the table, 5 all day long. This album gets a 5 all day long, and I highly recommend that if you're watching this video right now, that you go to Google Play Music, Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, however you can get your music legally, and don't steal it. Get this album. It's definitely well worth it. You won't be disappointed, and if you are, then something's wrong. But anyway, that's been it. Thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell by the subscribe button if you want to see more content from me and you want to be notified when I drop a new video. I keep forgetting to say that in my videos, but hit that bell or whatever the hell that thing is so that you'll be notified when I drop a new video on Big Ralph TV. Anyway, that's it. I'll holler at y'all in the next video. Peace.